Hey everybody, good afternoon. I was told I needed to make another video. Some people were talking about how they're going through with these jobs. Let me just say this. When you go on a job, that's a job. It's not the job. That doesn't mean that that's your finality as far as whatever you pick. Look, don't stay nowhere that you got to be uncomfortable. Don't stay anywhere that you're unhappy, because why are you allowing things or the enemy to use you to cause you to end up either doing something that you wish you had or never done, as far as going too far over the edge, or just having to be angry every day that you go on that job. Listen, if that job is to the point that you're miserable going there, quit. There's so many more jobs and options out here for you. Quit. That means that's just not where you're supposed to be, because God not gonna put you somewhere that you're miserable. Now, sometimes you'll be on a job or something, and everybody gonna go through something. I'm not telling you not to endure in life, because of course you got to be pliable, and things are gonna come. Persecution is gonna come. Things are gonna happen. But if you know that it's to the point though that you just done had enough and you can't take no more, leave that job. Leave that job. Go somewhere else. You can go down the street and get another job. And a lot of people say, well, oh, it's no jobs out here. If it's no more jobs out here, you're creative. God gave you a creative mind. Create something. Yes, you're going to have to stick with it. Anytime you start a business on your own, it's going to take at least 3 years for you to, have a solid foundation and know exactly where you're going to forecast it. But at the same time, it's a matter of you taking a step. Yes, it's a big step. Yes, that's big. And, but at some point you got to decide, like, either I'm going to be a worker, I'm going to be a CEO. Either way it goes, at the end of the day, you got to be able to endure some things. And then you got to know when it's time to say enough is enough. There's no need to be on a job and you end up hurting somebody or hurting yourself, or you just, miserable, like I said, or either going home and, you go to this job, you're miserable at the job, you come home, now you want to wreck the home and you want to tear up and be angry with everybody in the house because you didn't like your job or you didn't like the day you had. Every day you have an opportunity to change it. You have an opportunity to change it. And I'm going to say this. If you are a boss on a job and you think that because you have become a boss on this job, supervisor, boss, CEO, whatever you want to call yourself, and you can sit around and make other people's lives miserable, let me remind you of this right here. The Bible say the servant is not greater than the master, and the master is not greater than the servant. So if you think that God doesn't watch or see what you're doing when you're making these other people's lives miserable, then you better think again, because you might be a CEO, supervisor, manager, boss, whatever you want to call it today, but guess what? Tomorrow you can end up being that worker in that same position. That pressure you was putting on that person can be the same pressure that end up being on you. So always keep that in mind, in the back of your mind, when you go on these jobs. And I know a lot of people say, well, I have to do what the upper people tell me to do. And so you take enjoyment in firing people, not thinking about the domino effect that these people have families, they got kids that they need to feed, they have a wife or a husband that they have to answer to, or they got other people, loved ones that they have to support. So, when you got that kind of power in your hands, be mindful of what you're doing, because that's called having your hands around saving fireplace. So anytime that I'm going to be in a position that I got to cost somebody something, their livelihood, you need to think about it and pray about it first. Go through all your options as far as helping them and trying to make them a better person or a better worker, because it costs you way more to get rid of people these days than it do for you to keep them and just give them more training. Now, I'm not saying that for the people that are truly just, abusing their privileges or abusing the system or trying to get over and thinking that that's cute. No, with them, go ahead, deal accordingly with them. But there's truly some people that's on these jobs that they need their job. And, when they're trying their best and, you continue to put pressure on them just because you don't like them, you threatened by them because they may have a little more than you do, or they may be a little bit more smarter than you, or they may know something that you don't know, and you feel like that's going to end up jeopardizing your position if you don't be nasty to them. God see all of that. So there's no need to be nasty to people and cost them their job. At the end of the day, the best thing to do is pray about it. And, like I said, at the end of the day, there's no finality. 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 There finality to no job. If you are on these jobs and you are miserable, please, by all means, quit that job. That's not it. Move around. We have too many. It's 50 states in the United States. Stop thinking that you done got so comfortable, where you are, that you'll take anything to the point that it'll cost you your own life, because you may go do something to harm somebody when all you had to do was quit. Go somewhere else. If one place has gotten too small for you, move around. God will provide. He'll make a way for you. Just be willing to move. And if you can't move, create you a job. Create the environment that you want. But do not sit on that job and make people's lives miserable, or just make yourself miserable. Leave. And if you got bosses that's over you, that are putting pressure on you, then at the end of the day, you need to find solutions. Find solutions for these people. Whenever you're on any job or anything, a lot of people like to get on jobs and complain. The complaint is not going to help anybody. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help the circumstance. Find a solution to the problem. And either the solution is going to be that you're going to find a better way to either perform, or you're going to find a way that you're going to go ahead and quit and move to something else that's going to fit you. Because sometimes we'll sit in a position knowing that it's not for you, but you're going to hold that space up anyway when it's for somebody else. And the moment that something happens or you lose your job, now you want to be angry with the world, when all the time all you had to do was move to another position, another job, or another position. When you go on jobs, stop just taking a job, say, oh, I'm just going to take this job because I need the money. No, all money is not good money. All money not good money. It's sometimes that same money that you think you need, it end up costing you everything. Make you miserable, more miserable than ever. I've seen people do that, sit on jobs and just be miserable. And there's a lot of people, I'm saying this, some of y'all sit on these jobs 30 years. Hey, get them jobs to these other people and let them have an opportunity. You done collected enough money, enough funds, you can retire, but you want to sit on that job and make somebody else miserable, or you don't want to give that job up, and there's a young person that needs that job so that they can have a chance at life, but you rather sit there and rot away than to give this person that job so that they can try to make a life for themselves. You collected enough. You got enough in 401k. You got enough to be comfortable. You're not going to be on earth that long that you got to sit around and just hold a seat up to make somebody miserable. That's ridiculous. And you think God not going to move you, and then you feel like, oh, well, I'm going to just retire. Yeah, you're going to go into retirement, but you're going to be miserable. You probably ain't going to even make it, even spend half the money that you collected up. Because why? Think about it. How was your heart while you were sitting there? How was that heart when you were sitting there? What kind of heart did you have? Did you have a miserable heart that says, I'm just going to sit here just to keep somebody else from getting this job and getting paid just because I done put in 30 years, or I done put in 40 years? You know what I'm saying? Come on. At what point do you say enough is enough? Give somebody else a chance. Give them an opportunity. You at 30 and 40 years, you can retire out, and guess what? You could do something else and still make money, because the money don't stop circulating. It's not going to stop. But give somebody else another opportunity to be able to do it and make some money for their families. And as far as making people miserable on these jobs, stop it. Just stop making people miserable. Because like I said, you don't never know when your day is going to come. And it will come. So that circumstance can turn around on you, supervisor, into a worker. It has happened over and over again. There's nothing new under the sun. Stop sitting on these jobs that you don't like, making people miserable, and doing nothing. And if you're on the job and like I said, you miserable, leave that job. Leave the job and tell God to direct you. Father, send them wherever they need to be. Place them where you would have them to be. And Lord, let thy will be done. Not man's will, but your will, Father. Have mercy on them, Lord. Direct them and guide them. If it's for them to have a new business, Lord, then give them the things that they need, the equipment they need to start that new business, Father. And if it's not, Lord, give them the creativity to create the business that you would have them to create, Lord. And let your favor and your blessings be upon them as they're doing this. And if these jobs, Lord, if it's a job that they don't need to be on, Lord, we ask you to close that door and move them to the next job wherever you would have them to be, and let them be blessed and be a blessing to others. in the name of Jesus. With that being said, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to end it. I just wanted to do something quick and tell you, stop staying on these jobs and being miserable. You guys have a great day.